Good morning, all of you. My name is Ramya, and I am here to explain about COVID 19 in detail, especially with the preliminary and mains perspective 2020. Let's get started with bioweapons. Because there are several controversies that COVID virus was manufactured in a laboratory in Wuhan, it is important for us to know and understand what are bioweapons and their history. So, what is a bioweapon? Biological weapons are also known as germ warfare. It is the use of biological toxins, infectious agents such as bacteria, virus, insects, and fungi with the intent to kill or incapacitate humans, animals, or plants as an act of war. These agents are considered to be very attractive weapons for bioterrorism because they are very easy to obtain and inexpensive. The cost of a biological weapon is estimated to be around 0.05% of the cost of a conventional weapon in order to produce similar number of mass casualties per square kilometers. Moreover, the production is very easy. Common technology can be used to produce biological warfare, like that used in the production of vaccines, spray devices, beverages, and antibiotics. This is not the first time that the bioweapons are in use, but these are something that trace their origin way back to 1,000 years before. So if we see this, way back in 1495, Spanish mixed wine with blood of leprosy patients to sell to their French foes in Italy. Polish fires saliva from rabid dogs towards their enemies. British distribute blankets from smallpox patients to Native Americans. Napoleon floods the plains of Mantua, Italy to enhance the spread of malaria. Confederates sell clothing from yellow fever and smallpox patients to Union troops in USA. So sometimes it feels like the most intelligent species on this planet, that is human beings, who are the masters of the land, the brave hearts who tamed wild elephants and ferocious lions, the masterminds who united the world through the language. We have singers who made the skies weep, artists who painted the divine, and visionaries who wrote the future. And we have the brains who fought all kinds of diseases and delayed death. And again, it's the same human being who is the reason behind manufacturing these viruses in laboratories, shipping into different nations just to hamper the peace and prosperity in the country. But they fail to understand that they are taking away millions of innocent lives. So what is that we are lagging? Ethics, morals, love and affection towards mankind. If you can see this is the picture of the British soldiers blinded by exposure of mustard gas in 1989. This was during World War I. And this is something related to anthrax, and this is SARS, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome. Anthrax is supposed to be the most potent biological weapon because of its high mortality rate. These organisms, the small viruses, were sent to different dignitaries in US through mail, affecting a lot of people. And this has been used as a bioweapon for about a century, mixed with powder, sprays, food and water. This can be a potent threat because this is invisible, infectious, odorless and tasteless. Similarly, with respect to SARS, there are several conspiracy theories. A Russian scientist publishes a study stating that a virus related to SARS cannot be mutated naturally in the environment, and this was produced in lab. And similarly, not just these, we have smallpox, plague, which has been intentionally used as the biological weapon since 14th century itself. So one of the example is the Japanese army dropped plague-infected fleas over the areas of China and Manchuria during World War II. Similarly, smallpox has been used as a biological weapon against Native Americans during their American Revolution War. That is when WHO came to rescue all these countries by launching global immunization program against all these viruses. These viruses do not have a cure but can only be prevented through a vaccine. These dangers were soon recognized and countries realized the importance to have global treaties in place. Then comes the major developments. So these are the major developments in the use and prohibition of chemical weapons. Of all these, the important one being the Geneva Protocol and the Chemical Weapon Convention. So Geneva Protocol bans the chemical weapon use but no prohibition on development, and also it is silent about the storage, sale and production. Then comes the Chemical Weapon Convention. This was the first multilateral disarmament treaty banning the production of the entire category of biological weapons in 1993. This is not a UN agency, but when it has to take decisions, any global decisions, it takes consensus from UN, United Nations. And the headquarters of this is in Hague, Netherlands. So India signed this convention in the year 1996. We also ratified it in the same year, and we have a National Chemical Weapon Convention Act of 2000 in place as of today. This is the background of the chemical weapons. Coming to COVID-19, here are the few facts. So COVID-19 is one of the zoonotic disease, just like other Ebola, bird flu, MERS, that stands for Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, SARS, Rift Valley fever, Zika virus, and COVID-19. Zoonotic diseases are those diseases which are transmitted from animals to human beings. And it is said that 60% of the human infectious diseases are due to the zoonotic diseases. The test that is being held is RT-PCR, that stands for Reserve Transcriptase Polymerase Chain Reaction. This process involves collecting throat swab from the patient who is suspected to have the disease. The swab is collected from either nose or the throat because that is where the replication of the virus takes place, in the upper respiratory tract. And these samples are frozen and then they are sent to one of the designated government centers. With respect to vaccine, we still do not have any authentic vaccine, but these two are the more popular ones that are in use. Sinovac being developed by China, an inactivated vaccine, and mRNA 1273, it's being developed by US based technology and yet to evaluate. There are human trials that are going on. Coming to Operation Sanjeevani, India supplied 6.2 tons of essential medicines to Maldives under this operation as assistance in fight against COVID-19, just in case this might as well come in prelims. Coming to Epidemic Diseases Act 1987, as all of us know, health is a state subject, and by invoking Section 2 of the Epidemic Diseases Act, advisories and directions of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare will be enforceable. So this will empower central government to take steps to prevent the spread of an epidemic. As soon as India was experiencing high number of positive cases, the central government has asked all the states and the union territories to evoke this act in their respective states and union territories. Revoking this act doesn't mean that all the powers from state are being taken off by the central government. It just means that central government can assist state in containment measures to control the spread of the disease. However, states are absolutely free to have their own laws with respect to health place, but they should not be going against the central government laws. This law has been introduced by British government. Section 3 of this act provides penalties for disobeying any regulations made under this act, and Section 4 gives legal protection to the implementing officers acting under this act. However, these are not stringent. We have seen a lot of instances where the most critical service providers, that is the members of healthcare services and the police officers, have been targeted and attacked by the locals, especially in the slum areas when the doctors go to screen them and provide health facilities. These healthcare service providers and the police personnel who contribute their duties around the clock are unfortunately the most vulnerable victims. So in this context, government has promulgated an ordinance to amend the Epidemic Diseases Act 1987, as there were no stringent punishment for those offenders and for those who were attacking all the frontline workers. So this ordinance amends this act to protect healthcare service personnel and property, including their living working premises, against violence during epidemics. So this ordinance makes acts of violence cognizable and non-bailable, and also provides for the compensation. The offences shall be investigated by an officer of the rank of inspector. within a period of 30 days, and the trial has to be completed in 1 year unless extended by the court for reasons to be recorded in writing. This ordinance will infuse confidence in the community of police and healthcare providers so that they can continue to contribute serving mankind. These workers who are battling the spread of COVID-19, they put their own lives at risk in order to ensure safety of the others. So they deserve utmost respect and encouragement at this moment rather than being harassed and being subjected to violence. So this ordinance will protect all those healthcare providers and the police communities. Coming to pangolin, this is in news because of COVID-19. This is the only scaly mammal. Like how bats are the only flying mammals, this is the only mammal which have scales on the body. And this is in news because pangolin CoV is 91.02% identical to SARS-CoV-2 at the whole genome level. Somewhere scientists are predicting that the virus was mutated in pangolin and then was transmitted to human beings. This is the most trafficked mammal in Asia and Africa. 4 species are native to Asia and other 4 are native to Africa. All 8 species are protected under CITES, but it's still illegally trafficked. Its meat is considered a delicacy and the pangolin scales are used in traditional medicines. Another fact is their tongue can be longer than their body. These were just few facts. Coming to the next slide, where do we stand as of today and measures? What more measures need to be taken? So testing in India remains low. It stands at 10 per million. So we have to increase the pace of testing, and there are shortages in number of testing kits, shortages in essential supplies. We have around 70,000 to a lakh of ICUs and ventilators. Frontline healthcare providers and police officers are being attacked. These healthcare workers who put their own lives at risk in order to ensure the safety of others are being subjected to violence. This is disgusting. Serious measures have to be taken. Hopefully the ordinance that was promulgated would infuse more confidence and protect these healthcare providers and police officers. Coming to measures, government needs to identify infected patients in a timely manner to avoid the spread of secondary infections. Government has to become more vigilant to take proactive measures to aggressively trace people who have had primary and secondary contact with those who tested positive. Decentralizing the primary healthcare would help improve the service delivery and access. Economic consequences need to be considered. More than health crisis, economic crisis is hitting everybody with a full swing, especially contract workers and almost everyone in the informal sector are badly hit by COVID-19. Lockdown may be needed to slow down the pandemic, but people cannot afford to stay home for a long run. So all the social security schemes such as PDS, Jan Dhan Yojana, midday meals, MGNRE, GP should be used at this point of time. The daily wages of the laborer should be increased. There are millions of migrants who leave their villages and families in search of work, and those invisible hands harvest the crops, clean streets, run factories, build roads and construct houses. So government has to take all these factors into consideration and make sure there are no layoffs, migrant workers are getting proper food, shelter and healthcare facilities. Also there must be massive awareness campaigns to disseminate information and to impart good habits such as distancing and washing hands. And fallen prices of the crude oil is a disguised blessing. The fallen prices of the crude oil is truly a blessing because the government could save more than 2 lakh crore, which can be used for recovery package. So it's fine if the government is getting criticized for overreacting, but it's worst if they are being criticized for lack of preparedness. So people might have issues with the current countrywide lockdown and extinction, but this has indeed prevented an explosion of cases. This is the time where we stand together and display humanity. If you can see the graph of the COVID-19 cases starting from 22nd Jan to 26th of April, a 3-month time scale. Started off in China, followed by Thailand, but then slowly it got spread to several other countries. And Diamond Princess is a British cruise ship where everybody on the ship were tested positive. So we see a lot of cases in South Korea, but South Koreans were able to contain it. Suddenly Italy takes a lead, and US sees a massive increase in the number of cases because of lack of any precautionary measures. As of 26th of April, US has the highest number of cases, followed by Spain, then followed by Italy, UK, Germany, France, Turkey, etc. This is the time where all of us have to stand together and display humanity. So please stop criticizing and stop cribbing about small things. Everything will be in place. It's just a matter of time, and time will heal everything. Coming to the last slide, here are all the important provinces, especially Wuhan. Sometimes we get questions like arrange the following cities from north to south or south to north, east to west, and west to east. So it's always important to be prepared for any kinds of questions for prelims. This is Beijing, which is the headquarters of AIIB and SCO. And this is Shanghai. It is the headquarters of NDA. It is the biggest city of China and the financial capital. This is Wuhan, Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, Fujian province, and here is South Korea. That's all for today. I hope you guys liked the video. Thank you all for watching. Do not forget to subscribe and give me a feedback. You can always reach out to me on my Telegram at Rami9622. Have a good day. Stay home. Stay healthy.